Good evening, welcome back to Roslyn Court. My name is Maureen Butler, and this evening we have Michelle Laverick. Yay! We've also got Paul Grant, which is wonderful. Yes. And we've got a raffle, so if you're watching and you want to take part in the raffle, please donate something, and I'll pop your name in the raffle, and you may win one of Michelle's CDs or a Who Gives a Crap toilet roll. I mean, you know, yes. Yes, yeah, exactly. There was an embarrassing evening where somebody was trying to swap. Right.
I'd be a bit disappointed if they picked Tyler all over the CD.
It's true. Well, we do ask them to be subtle about it. At least go to the toilets or something. This is a song about a woman with issues. Sauve, oh, on that day, she dressed herself in man's array, with a sword and pistol by her side, to meet her true love, awaited right. When she was riding on the plain, she met her true love, bid him stand. Your gold and silver, kind sir, she said, or else in this moment, I'll shoot you dead. When she had robbed him of his store, she said, kind sir, there's one thing more, a golden ring which I know you have. Deliver it, your sweet love to save. That golden ring a token is, my life I'd give that ring to save. Sweet as a she sailed away. That went well. That golden ring a token is, my life I'd give that ring to save. Being young and tender, just like a dove, she rode away from her true love. Next morning in the garden green, like two true lovers they were seen. He spied his watch hanging by her clothes, which made him blush like any rose. Why do you blush at such silly a thing? I could have had your golden ring. 'Twas I that robbed you down that lane. So take your watch and your gold again. It was to certain and to show if you were my true love or no. If you had given me that golden ring, I'd have pulled the trigger and shot you dead. Well, it was close, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, I've set a precedent now, Paul. There you go, I've set a standard. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, great. Can we welcome onto the stage, please, Paul Grant? Yay!
Only a little bit. Are we on that one?
That one's yours, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah?
Hey, yay. It's the one.
Okay. I'm going to do a song now that I co-wrote with AI. I did the lyrics and AI did the tune, so... We walked towards the Turner Steps, an old can by the sea, and music floats across the arm and finds its way to me. I've never seen such lovely skies, the sun dips in the sea. The silhouettes along the sands, no place I'd rather be. We dropped into the festa gear, the ukuleles play. But sometimes on a summer's eve, upon the sands we'd stay. I've never seen such lovely skies, the sun dips in the sea. With friends all singing through the night, no place I'd rather be. On Thursday night it's off to Roslyn, hear the people sing. The bands all play and we all sway to fiddle, voice and string. I've never had such lovely times, the wine, the gats, the teas. And people gathered round to talk, no place I'd rather be. I've never seen such lovely skies or heard such thrilling bands. There's no place that I'd rather be than on these Margate sands. There's no place that I'd rather be than on these Margate sands.
Sorry.
Thank you. Paul Grant, everybody. Controversial. Yeah. AI. Yeah. Goodness. Yeah. Well, it's that time we're going to introduce onto the stage with all of these instruments, hundreds of these instruments. Please welcome Michelle Laverick. Yay!
See you the ferny rye that steals the awkward's fire. Oh, that was whence the hue the keels that rolled to Trafalgar. And mark you where the ivy clings to Bainham's mouldering walls. Oh, there we cast the stout railings that stand around St. Paul's, and see you the dimpled track runs all hollow through the wheat. Oh, that is where they hold the guns that smoke King Philip's fleet. Out of the wheel, the secret wheel, men sent in ancient times. The horses' shoes red at Flodden Fields, the arrows at pointy ends. And see you the stilly woods of oak and the dreaded ditch beside. Oh, that was a Saxon's hunting ground on the day that Harold died. And see you the windy levels spread about the gates of Rye. Oh, that was where the Northmen fled when Alfred's ships sailed by. And see you after rain the trace of molten ditch and wall. Well, that was a legion's camping place when Caesar sailed from Gaul. And see the marks that show and fade like shadows on the down. Oh, there the lines the flint men made to guide this wondrous town. Trackway and camp and city lost, salt marsh now there is corn. Old wars, all peace, all arts that cease, and so was this England born. but nature's isle of Gramamere that you and I must share. But nature's isle of Gramamere that you and I must share. Same man. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll plonk it down. That's still going, isn't it? Let's turn it off. Hello. Lots of technical things going on here. I don't usually introduce the band until like quite late in the show because they're quite shy, the members of the band. But this thing down on the floor is Harmonia, my harmonium. And she usually starts her life on the floor and then goes up on the little thing. But we decided to do things a little bit differently tonight. Helps if you plug in first. Ever the professional. You just can't get the staff these days. So my name's Michelle Laverick. I come from the northeast originally. I now live in Derbyshire, but I'm always sort of travelling to and fro and back to home where my family live. This song's called The Robin, and it was the penultimate track on my debut album, Songs from a Cold Conservatory. I'm on the 100-step program to becoming a folk singer. It's an official program, and once you've completed all 100 steps, you get a little laminated piece of card that says you're officially a folk singer. And on step 10, it said you must write a song about birds. And this is called The Robin. You're just looking at me funny as if we weren't getting any sound. I was like, oh, have I done something? Am I still muted? Am I not plugged in? What have I got? This is called The Robin. That never happened, right? Just forget that happened. I know I'm not an easy read as you plow your way through Ulysses. I remember it took me more than 5 goes to complete, though we all know the rules of this game. it's the first time we play, and through all of the turns you'll take, I just wish that you had stayed. So I gave away my partial heart, paid my dues to the mistress of the arts, and each time we break apart, we'd always arrive at the start. So I sing you this song, words I will never understand. Oh, it don't mean a thing to me. It was written by these hands, and it would be a crime to pass them off as mine when they only come from the bird. Now I see you in the tree. Why must you fly from me? Are you just a bird on the wing, following the way of the wind? And so if you must go away, and here I must forever remain, I don't know when you'll return, but I hope to see you again in the spring, in the spring, in the spring. And though you are so far away, I love you more than words could ever say. I think about you all every day, and I will go on saying it anyway. Hey. And I begged you not to go, not while you were feeding my soul, 'cause I cannot think of the birds, 'cause birds only make me think of you. Thank you very much. So the idea for that song, The Robin, came about from, sad to say, the death of my father back in 2018. Both me and my mum were convinced that a robin that came to see us was the spirit of my dad. And which couldn't be the same Robin, because she's in Stockton-on-Tees and I'm in Derbyshire, right? It'd be a very tired Robin to go backwards and forwards like that. And then after I wrote the song, I learned that there was a piece of English folklore, a saying really, that said that when robins appear, loved ones are near. And the thing I love about that is, not least it's a wonderful phrase, is we came to it before I knew that bit of folklore. So it must be true. Must be true. So Harmonia is going to do some other tunes. Normally when you use a harmonium, you sort of sit on the floor with it or have it on a stand and you play it as a conventional keyboard. But I'm kind of using it a bit like a drum box in a way to create like a fuller sound. So There must be a much lighter way of doing this. I'm not quite sure what that might be. So that first song I did was Oak and Ash and Thorn, which some of you will know. And will know that Bellamy took a whole series of songs from Rudyard Kipling's book, Puck Songs, I think is the name. So what I loved about that song when I first heard it on a Folk Police recording was that sense of these places that we live in the UK. You walk across the land, but underneath there's all this history that's previously been there, layers of it, until you almost forget those layers were actually there, which I think is fascinating. It's also a little tale of the various people who have fought and their way into positions of privilege and power, I think, you know. So somebody's fought over this scrap of land. First it was the Romans, and the Saxons, and the Normans, you know. And it's sort of like, when do we get a say? Probably never. So this is another one of those songs by Mr. Bellamy, and it's Oak and Ash and Thorn. And when I first heard this song as a relatively noob to folk music, I thought this sounds like an environmental protest song to me, because it's talking about how this country was covered in trees, the oak and ash and thorn. Now look at what we've done to it. So I took out one of the verses because I'm the kind of person who thinks I can do better than Rudyard Kipling. No egos here. And I put in a verse of my own, because you can do that with folk music. You can add verses. Something I learnt off Frankie Archer, who, I don't know if we have any Frankie Archer fans in the house. Give us a whoop, Frankie Archer. Woo. She is very good at taking old folk songs. She's an electro folk person, so very modern. But I think what's really interesting about what she does, I hope she's watching, is the way she rewrites songs. And I thought that's very inspirational. So hope you like this. Of all the trees that grow so fair, old England did adore. Grey to a nun beneath the sun, of the oak and ash and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn could curse, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing than the oak and ash and thorn. Well, the elm she hates mankind and waits, to every gust must be laid, to drop a limb on the head of him that anyway trusts his shade. But whether a lad be noble or sad, or pissed up would be from the horn, he'd do nothing wrong if he'd lied along than the oak and ash and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn guitars, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing than the oak and ash and thorn. Well, the yew that is old in the churchyard mould, he breedeth a mighty bough. And the oldest for shoes did wise men choose, in beech cups also. But when you have killed and your bowl is filled and your shoes away out worn, it was back with all speed for all we at us, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing than the oaken, ash and thorn. Well, do not tell the priest our plight, they would call it a sin. We've been out in the woods all night, conjuring summer in. And I bring you good news by word of mouth, good news for your cattle and corn. As soon as the sun comes up from the south, there'll be oak and ash and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn guitars, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing, the oak and ash and thorn. While the holly bush stands in the winterlands with crimson berry bright, and the birch so pale tells the olden tale of the fading northern lights. But when the frost it is set and the snow it is wet and the fire crackles to the morn, the strength we will find will be of branches of twine of the oak and ash and thorn. Sing oak and ash and thorn, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing and the oak and ash and thorn. One more time. Oak and ash and thorn guitars, all on a midsummer morn. Surely we'd sing of no little thing and the oak and ash and thorn. Thank you. So I've planned out the set tonight to try and do a traditional folk song and then one of mine. So you can go, oh, 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 oh. Depending whether you like traditional folk songs.
We do.
I once wrote a song which I'm going to play tonight. And a friend of mine, musician friend of mine, said to me, that sounds like it's 200 years old. And it was sort of, I wasn't sure whether it was a criticism or a compliment. But I went, yes, that's what I'm looking for. I want this to sound like it's always been here, which is, you know, like what I think to be able to do to join that tradition. And people think it's a really old song when it's not. So this is one of mine. It's the title track from my new EP. Can I have a woo? There we are, thank you. You know, I'm normally not that manipulative of the audience. But I've discovered other people who just say, can I have? And people go, oh, yeah, we'll do that for you. Yeah, so it's called The Helmwinds. The EP is called The Helmwinds, and so is this. So is this song. And the Helmwinds are the only named winds here in the UK. So they're pretty unique. There's a bit of a dispute where they are, because you can dispute where a wind lives, apparently. But usually a kind of confluence between the North Pennines as it merges into Cumbria, if you're from the northeast, or if you're from the northwest, they are in Cumbria and they sometimes go over to the Pennines. Yeah. And I wrote this song on a songwriting retreat run by Katie Spencer and Iona Lay. Do we have any Katie Spencer, Iona Lay fans? Can we have a whoop for the whoop? I'm going to do that all the time now, it's going to become really annoying. And as part of the songwriting retreat, we were asked as a group of us to write a song about the environment that we were in. And when we were in Scotland, we were in this valley that led down to a loch, very sheltered, and the trees were straight, like poof. But if you come to the high peak, the Peak District where I currently live, you'll see the trees are like that. Yeah, because the wind just blows them down. So I started to think, what would the winds or the trees be like in the Helmans? And I realised that those trees would have to lean into the wind to stand up, just like we do when we're walking up a hill or something like that. Of course, this song has got nothing to do about trees. It's a big metaphor. Flag the metaphor. I hope you like it. Here in the valley, protected by hills, here the trees are allowed to grow tall, and they have 500 memories, one for every leaf that did not fall. And up here on the heights of the peak, where they grow up lying down, they learn to bend with the wind, so they would never be torn down. We didn't know how young we were until we got older. You don't know how young you are until you get older. They didn't know how young they were until they got older. I didn't know how young I was until I got older. Not the trees that we wished we could have been. And when the hem winds they had blown, leaning into the wind was all we had ever known. And this is the place where we are from. This is the place we no longer belong. The glorious sunsets and the sulphuric skyline and the broken Oxbow River we both left behind. Didn't know how young they were until they got older. They didn't know how young they were until they got older. You don't know how young you are until you get older. didn't know how young I was until I got older. Thank you.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 minute to say, people at home, if you are in a position to donate, it would be absolutely brilliant if you could. And if you want an example of how much you could send, I was thinking that Michelle actually came in a camper van. And, you know, a lot of those camper vans, they've got pennants on the back saying where they've been. And I was thinking if we sent the equivalent of one of these pennants, it would be really nice. That would be a nice amount, do you not think? Don't send a pennant. We don't want a Margate pennant, but, you know, just the equivalent would be really marvellous. Now, Michelle, people here can buy your CDs. What about people at home? Where can they get your CDs from?
I mainly go through Bandcamp. I am on the big streamers, Apple Music and Amazon Music, but I'm not on Spotify because the guy who owns Spotify thinks a good use of his money is investing in AI, defence and military equipment. That's nice, isn't it? When you listen to a nice tune, you immediately think of killing loads of people with, you know, not me, anyway. But yeah, Bandcamp, if you search Michelle Laverick, often people forget or struggle with my name. Laverick rhymes with Maverick, yeah? Yeah, so just one letter difference, yeah. Is that a decent enough plug?
Yeah. Well done.
Please buy CD. If not, I'll end up being buried with the CDs. I'll go to landfill. And what will become of me then? Who knows? So I'm going to do you a folk song now. You can tell it's a folk song because it's really old. It's at least 30 years old now, isn't it? I have a guitar that's from 1953, and I was doing a gig and somebody asked me how old it was, and I said, 1953, and they went, that's so old! And I said, be careful, there are people in this room who might... You know, everything's relative. But this song is from the 17th century.
That's old.
That's old. And let's not have that. Let's have the other drony noise. Some people might say it's just as relevant today as it was back then. It's only got 2 verses, so I've added some verses and made it modern. I've modernised it. I was once in New Orleans on holiday, and I got shown around New Orleans by this lovely guy who took us to a massive car park. And he said, on this car park once stood one of the finest French buildings ever constructed in New Orleans. And it fell into disrepair. And in the 60s, under the guise of modernisation, they knocked it down and they built a car park instead. So that modernised is stuck. Because he said, didn't say modernise it. We're going to modernise it. So I've modernised this song. What will become of England if things go on this way? There's many 1,000 working men are starving day by day, and he cannot find full employment, so for bread his children cry. And hundreds of those children, in their beds they now lie. Well, you call yourself self-employed, yet they hold all the power. With 0 hours promised, 0 work for hours and hours. But when the rent is due on Monday and your wages come too late, still they say it's fair enough because you've chosen your own fate. And they work delivery drivers like cattle, no time to take a break. An empty bottle in the footwell is all they get to take. The bosses count their profits while the workers count their pain. Still they say there's nothing wrong, just learn to play our game. So you graft from dawn to darkness, yet still you need support, while those who made the rules ensure their wealth, it never runs short. The torches lit the pavements, the chants ran through the night. They hunted for the helpless, so sure that they were right. Car windows smashed like thunder as the children hid in fear, while those who spread the poison watched, but made sure that they stayed clear. Well, some have money plenty, but still they crave for more. They will not lend a helping hand to lift up the working poor, and they pass you like a dog, and on you cast a frown. What will become of this new England if the working man's crushed down? What will become of this new England if the working man's crushed down? Thank you. Hands up for my wonderful, beautiful assistant, who also has to run the desk. What he doesn't know is I'm going to do this every other song. It's his exercise routine. Not that he actually needs it, that's a terrible thing to say. I didn't mean that. I really didn't. You're lovely. Always be nice to the sound man. Or sound girl. So I've got another song of my own. This one was the last track on my debut album. And it's called This Time the Darkness Wins. As you've probably figured out, I specialise in cheerful, uplifting music. Somebody once heckled me when I was playing, "Do you not do any happy songs?" And you know, normally when somebody says something like that, you think of the answer like 4 hours later. Oh, why did I do that? But from my lips, unprompted, I just went, "This is the happy stuff." You should hear the dark, melancholic, uncanny stuff I leave at home because you've come out for a good time. And he laughed at that. And then I launched into this song. So I said, and actually, what I sometimes say to people is, despite some of the darker elements in what I do try tiny slither of hope in there. But obviously so tiny no one can actually see it. I'm not a big one for explaining songs, but I do occasionally enjoy explaining like where a line came from or something that and it sort of gives you the fact that it isn't sort of coming out of the ether. Yeah. Although I was once asked in an interview by somebody who was being a bit too nosy what my inspiration was, and I just said, it's the muse, she descends, I receive the... I was like, it's all... I can't swear because I'm live. All a lot of, basically. But it put them off the scent, which is all you really need. So if you ever hear a musician going about, oh, it's the muse, they just come from nowhere, they are lying, but they just don't want to talk about the inspiration too much. So the line in this song that says, if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever. And where I stole that from is I was on holiday with my friend Sharon in Scotland, and we walked to this lighthouse down to, it's like one of these lighthouses with a big foghorn on it. Took some photographs. We came back up the hill and we parked ourselves on a park bench, as you do. And I noticed there was a little plaque, but I just assumed it would say something like, this is for Gordon, who loved it here. But as I turned and looked over my shoulder, it just said on the plaque, if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever. And I was like, poof, wow. I since found out there's this on a million tea towels in America. It's not at all as deep and as profound as I thought it was, but I loved the phrase so much, I kept it. That wasn't the intro, that was me tuning up. This is the song. I can get over how strange I am, little Miss Queen Canal. I'm sitting here watching the tides roll in, got no sentences left to give me air. There's someone out there for everyone, not for me, not for me. I can't live here anymore, got to pack my bags and just leave. 'Cause this time the darkness wins. This time the darkness wins. This time the darkness wins. Will you let me know when it's safe to let the light back in? And you were just a bird in a cage that would not sing. Now I'm leaving spaces between my words, 'cause you need time to sink in. All the answers you are looking for, they're not found in this book. Go ahead and plow your own furrow now and cast your own hooks. This time the darkness wells. This time the darkness wells. This time the darkness wells. Is it time to let the light back in. And if all that we have is each other, well, what if that isn't enough? I know how this will all turn out, but please take no more photographs. In dribs and drafts, we were so drowned. Now we sit here waiting, claiming to do the best that we can. But this time the darkness ends. This time the darkness ends. This time the darkness ends. It is time to let the light back in. If love could have saved you, if love could have saved you, if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever. If love could have saved you, if love could have saved you, if love could have saved you, you would have lived forever. Thank you. Do I have time for one more before the break? So, as part of the whole folk musician thing, I've written another song about birds, not just robins. There are lots of birds in this world. One of the things I did recently, I played at Tonbridge Folk Club, and did a whip round at the end for me. No hints. And I didn't do too badly, actually. I won't complain. And then the next couple of days I spent up in the northeast, and I made a trip to a place called Saltholm, which is an RSPB nature reserve, right in the middle of industrial Teesside. It was originally a farm, and then for a short while they used to harvest the salt from the sea, really, and then ICI, big chemical conglomerate, took it all over, drilled boreholes, found rock salt, decimated the area. And then in the late 60s, they started to say, maybe that was a bad idea, as you do. And so they reclaimed an area called Seal Sands in Saltholm. And what I love about this place is it's an image of what the area would have been before all the industry came. It was basically the whole of the Tees estuary was salt marshes, seals everywhere, wading birds. It was beautiful. And then somebody discovered iron ore in the hills and decided, let's just check that out and start making steel and building ships and everything there. It's a place that not many people know about because the thing with Teesside is kind of sandwiched between two very strong identities. Yorkshire to the south, you never have to ask somebody whether they're from Yorkshire if you notice this, and Newcastle and the Geordies. There's 2,000 plus years of history in Georgia. But really, up until the 1800s, Teesside was just rural farming and people eking out a living before the industry came. The town I was born in 1800 had a population of 200 people. By 1840, it was 70,000 people. And the entire area of industry runs 27 miles from where Stockton-on-Tees is to Redcar. And they reclaimed all of that land, and they put rubbish into the river where salmon once, drifted. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you this. But anyway, at Solholm, I took my winnings, that's what I like to call it when I get paid for playing, and I paid for an annual subscription to the RSPB. It was my little kind of, let's do something for my local area, and maybe one day it will all go back to being lovely. I have to get rid of the concrete first, but there we are. There's actually some really beautiful places around that area, but whenever it's in the news, it's always cooling towers and other things. So this song's called Birds That Do Fly. I did have time for one song until I talked all the way through. It wouldn't be a folk event if there wasn't like 4 hours worth of intro in one song. Good job I don't play banjo, isn't it? Oh God, we'd be here all night. So, I did a trip from Scarborough to York after being at Scarborough Open Air Theatre to see, I think it was Pulp, I went to see, one of my favourite bands from the 90s. And as I was on the train back, this bird flew over the train in a sort of perfect, beautiful arc. And so for a moment I thought, what must it be like to be that bird? And that's where this song comes from. I wish that I could be like that bird that flew over me from Scarborough to York. If I could be like that bird, and I would just fly. I'd be like that bird, and I would just fly with the wild glint in my eye. With a wild, wild glint in my eager eye, my eager eye. And I may never have the skills I need to know the names of all of the trees. I'll learn all the bird songs, get the names of all the birds wrong. And you might look once, you might look twice, you may stare once, you may stare twice, but I know I'm a creature of strange device. But aren't we all just creatures of strange device? Strange device? And it was never meant to be. For nature played this trick on me, and it was never meant to be. Nature played her trick on me. For there are words that can never be spoke. We are nature's cunning folk. There are words that can never be spoke. We are nature's cunning folk. We are nature's cunning folk. Yes, we are nature's cunning folk. We are nature's cunning folk. Cunning folk. For I was always Penelope with no suitors at my door. And you were out in your southern ocean, miles away from my shore. And yes, I know I've got demons in my head. But don't we all have our demons waiting for us underneath the bed? So won't you please, please, be gentle with us. Won't you please, 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 be gentle with us, with us. And here I try to put some roots down, but my tubers, they fell on the stony earth to ground. Maybe we could have built a home if I had stayed around. Maybe we could have built a home if I had stayed around. That is why I wish that I was just like that bird that flew over me from Scarborough to York. If I could just fly, I'd be like that bird, and I would just fly with a wild glint in my eye, with a wild, wild glint in my eye, with a wild, wild glint in my eye, in my Thank you very much.
Can we also say thank you to Paul Grant? Yeah. And for the people at home, this is the end for you. You know, we've got another set. Yes, this is the end. Doors.
It's been a nice life.
Yes, yes. We've got on. Speaking of doors, we've got Chris on the door. Yeah. We've got G doing the cameras. Yeah. We've got John doing the sound. We've seen a lot of John. We've seen a lot of John this evening. Yeah. And the thing is, we also have Phil, who's doing the camera, doing the filming this evening, which is very appropriate. But this is actually, today is Phil's last day at work. He has retired. So I would just like to ask Phil to come up here. We have a small presentation for you. I'm sure one of many. So if you'd like to go on that mic. Oh, okay.
Look at that face.
Yeah. Yay! Right. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. If you go on that one. Congratulations on your retirement. Okay. What you will find is that when you retire, time does strange things.
It does indeed. Oh,
Hey.
thank you very much.
You are very, very welcome. Phil is a very, very important part of the team here, and we wouldn't run here without the team. So, yeah, thank you. Great. Thank you. And of course, in her pinny at the bar, we have Una, which is fantastic. Yeah. So next week we've got Karen Pfeiffer and Paul Walker. The following, on the 14th, not next week, the week after, we've got Karen and Paul. And then we've got John Duran and the Northern Assembly, Jack Rutter, John Hegley. It's just fantastic, the people who are coming here. We're very, very lucky. Thank you very much. So, for the people at home, Michelle Laverick, yay! Paul Grant, and we'll see you on the 14th. You people at home. My name's Maura Butler. This is Rosalind Court. Thank you for watching. And you can still donate. Hey.